Hello, and welcome to another episode of This Is Our Year.
Hi.
I'm your host, Michael Curland. As always, Dougie Fresh joining
What's
me.
up, Mike? How you doing?
Douglas, I like these Saturday morning recordings.
I do too. I'm
Uh,
getting my vitamin C every Saturday now.
yeah, so what are you drinking today?
We made another mimosa, so just
Nice.
carrying
With Lamarca?
with Lamarca and a bunch of other shit. The Palm, some OJ,
Okay.
and a little bit of Chambord, which is a raspberry liqueur. I'm getting weird here with my hair.
Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah. So
Stepping
cheers,
up
buddy.
your game. This is fancy shit.
Uh huh.
Some fancy shit. Cheers, man. I
How
am
about
sticking
you?
with coffee.
Yeah.
Sticking with coffee this morning because a few things. We are mom's here, so
Hey, Mel.
Easter's tomorrow. Yep, Mel's on her way over here right now with her boyfriend Dwayne, and they're babysitting all day with with Lala and Grandpa, which is Alex's mom and dad,
Nice.
and they're gonna be hanging with the baby all day, doing like a grandparents barbecue,
Mm,
and I don't know what. I'm sure they'll watch stupid. They'll watch TV all day and just hang out with the baby, which is great. And me and Alex are going up to LA in about 3 hours, and we're going to get a nice lunch, brunch, and then we're going to head to the LAFC Austin
oh shit.
FC
Yeah.
MLS game. Yeah,
Um. So I know a few Austin FC diehards.
really.
Yeah, I go to every game. Part of like the booster club. My brother's really good friend out there. Wait, what's up? What's up, Spanky? What's up, Brian? Yeah, big deal out in Austin. So yeah, man,
Dude,
I'm
it,
jealous. That's gonna
it's
be a great day.
actually a big deal here too. So I didn't start following MLS till a little bit end of last year, right? Because I was just like, I'm a big
Right.
EPL fan, which I just watched Chelsea lose to the Wolves, and they're done. Like, I just wish the EPL season would end. They have Champions League this week. They're going to get
You're a
their dicks
Chelsea
kicked
guy.
in.
I couldn't
I'm a Chelsea
remember.
guy.
Yeah,
You're a
that's right.
Liverpool guy. Yeah, we had a
Yeah, but
terrible
I've
match.
fallen off.
Yeah. Well, it's hard because it's been a
So have
bad
they.
2 years.
Yeah.
I mean, Chelsea. So one of the guys that owns the Dodgers, bought Chelsea when Russia invaded Ukraine, and they UK put sanctions on Abramovich, which was the old owner, who was like a Russian oligarch that
Right.
definitely had ties to Putin and
Yeah.
was, just I don't know. What we don't need to get into the Russian politics on that, but
You
so they
sure?
made him.
That's what the people want. Sorry. Go ahead.
They made him sell the team, and it's Saturday morning. We might as well talk a little soccer, right? This is what people do. That's what I do every Saturday morning is watch
EPL mornings,
Chelsea.
man.
Exactly. And so they brought in this guy, Todd Bowley, who's part of the Dodgers ownership conglomerate. And he brought in his own conglomerate to buy Chelsea for like, I think it was like $2 billion. It was something, or 200. I don't know. It was some fucking asinine amount of money.
Mm-hmm.
And he has then since come in, and like we had just we had just won the Champions League 2 years ago. So a year ago when he bought the team, we had a world class coach in Thomas Tuchel, but he was gruff. He was definitely a angry German man that looked a lot like Mr. Burns, and but he was a tactical genius, and he was really good at defense. So we either tied, we had a 0-0 tie, or we'd win like 1 or 2-0. So it was very similar to Islanders
Is
hockey, if
Islander
you
hockey?
will.
Yes,
Yeah.
nailed it. All right.
So now Bowley came in, and they've spent like a record amount of money on new people, and so your squad normally has like 20 people on it, and they have like 30 right now. So they have like all these guys that have been with the squad for years, and now they're gonna have to turn around and sell them all in the offseason, but they're still there right now.
So a lot
So
of
it's
ego
just
on the
like,
bench, huh?
dude, it's like, and so you can tell like the whole
Yeah.
team, they're not going to make top four, which is what gets you in the Champions League, as you know.
Right.
And I don't even think they're going to make top 10, to be honest. They're going to finish like the worst they finished in the last 30 years.
That's crazy.
And they just fired their second coach of the year. They rehired their old coach, who's like their all-time leading scorer, who got fired from another club earlier this year that's almost going to be relegated. So it's not like he's a tactical genius. He's just basically, they're bringing him in so that the fans are like, hey, at least Frank Lampard's here.
I
Like,
remember that
can't
guy.
can't be mad at him, right? So
Reminds me of
I
like
don't know,
when Billy Martin got fired like 5 different times in the '80s by the Yankees, and they kept bringing him
dude.
back.
Kept bringing him back as him and he must have had something on Steinbrenner, or like they
Yeah,
must have
right.
been secretly banging or something. I
Like
don't
the
know.
love hate. I can't quit you. Um, yeah, dude, I've fallen off on EPL. Jenny's gotten really into F1, and that's kind of what's on. Well,
On
Sunday.
Saturday mornings, nice.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
never got
Saturday's
into that show.
qualifying.
Is it? I heard it's amazing on Netflix, and you have to
It's a
watch
good
it.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's really well done.
that's what
I,
I've heard.
I had $1 billion idea that the NHL should take this and pick 10 teams a year and follow the two goalies on each team and just like follow
Yeah.
them around day to day, because F1 is great because it's just two drivers and then like the whole team, but like there's that dynamic between the two, a lot of obviously egos,
Right.
button heads and all kinds of like problems when you race in a tight spot with these really fast cars. Like it's a lot of fun. It makes no sense to me. I have no idea what the rules are to F1, but I kind of just watch it and yeah, it's a good time.
If you
I'm
ain't
not caught
first,
up
you
though.
last. Well, that's NASCAR, but
Yeah, yeah.
drive fast, right? Oh
Yes.
my god.
Um,
So, are you into MLS?
so
That's the question, though.
no,
No. Yeah. It's.
maybe I adopt Austin FC. I don't. Do
I
we
mean, you
still have the
should,
New
right?
England Revolution?
No.
I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
are
rooting for
still there.
Boston.
No,
And then
exactly. You got two New
there's
York
two
teams.
New York. You're right.
You got the Red Bulls and you got
And
the
FC.
FC. And FC is owned by Man City. So they're
Yep.
like, if you're into Man City, whatever, and Red Bulls are owned by the Red Bull conglomerate. So, and then LAFC is owned by also, I believe they're owned by the Dodgers too, like the conglomerate that owns the Dodgers.
No,
There's
really.
I know Magic Johnson had a lot to do with the LAFC, and then there's the Galaxy, who like,
Magic makes moves, man.
dude, I mean, one of the best businessmen of all
He's
time, somehow only
one of the best
person
tweeters of
ever
all time too. But
to beat AIDS, right? Had AIDS for like 40 years and
yeah.
still
Well, yeah,
kicking.
he. I mean, he changed everything on that. I don't want to get off on that, but that
No,
was a death sentence in '91.
definitely, definitely. Um, so anyway, yeah, we definitely don't know.
So anyway,
Need to
yeah,
go down
I
that
might
line.
adopt
Yeah,
Austin.
go
But yeah,
for it.
I
Do
don't
it.
care about the New York teams though. So
Yeah, yeah. Fuck the Red Bulls. Fuck New
right.
York NYCFC. Because
And
like,
by the way, Red Bull is like right now the dominant F1 team, and they're real tough to root for. So I don't think I could.
I mean, they know what they're doing, dude. They own a bunch of soccer
Oh,
teams, and they're
yeah, I'm
all
not saying they're bad. Yeah, it's a
no.
great run
So
organization.
Chelsea actually hired a bunch of guys, and they want to emulate the Red Bull like
Yeah,
soccer play. But anyway, we're going to LAFC, and do you
nice.
know? Have you ever like? I bought the MLS package on Apple TV this year because I was like, why not, right? And I'm like, I want to watch. I want to watch the LAFC games when they're home. That'll be my team to root for, my LA team to root for. And they did win the championship last year, so you gotta jump on the bandwagon
Okay.
a little bit. And if you never watched a game, you should watch the championship game from last year, because it was like every twist and turn possible, like extra time, like 2 goals in extra time to like
Oh shit.
for
Okay.
from each team to tie it, and then I believe did they go to a shootout? They went to a shootout, and that's how the LAFC won last year. It was crazy.
Sounds like some of the World Cup actually from this or last year, whenever the hell that was.
It
It
was
was just
crazy, dude. It was
December.
crazy.
The last thing I'll say, I heard the Portland Seattle rivalry in MLS is just insane. Like
I'm
the Sounders and the Timbers, like the fans
Yeah.
just go like nuts during those games. So
Yeah, dude. I mean, so I've never been to a game. We're going to our first game today, and that's why we're excited, because
yeah,
they,
find a tailgate.
it's just boom. It's just like drums the whole time and going
Yeah,
crazy, and like
like college
be
football. Kinda.
real. Be Real from Cypress Hill is the fucking
Oh
lead
shit!
drummer for
What?
LAFC's. Yeah, he goes to every game, and
He's the drummer.
he's the drummer in the stands that gets the
I had
crowd going.
no idea. Whoa.
I didn't either.
Sorry,
I had no
I'm getting
idea
knocked
until
around by animals
I
here.
think you actually have to drink because the
Yeah,
cats.
yeah. I gotta put a dent in this. That's Sadie, by the way.
Hey, Sadie.
Very nice.
So, all right,
So, man.
we've done 10 minutes of soccer. Already
Yeah.
lost the one fan that we had watching.
Nice.
So what do you want to talk about, Dougie?
It's up to you, man. Those those air balls that like had to look real but were like definitely forced like misses were really hilarious in the Mavericks game last night. I don't know if anybody knows what I'm talking about, but they realized that they had to lose the game to like protect their top 10 pick, right?
Yep. So they
Um,
benched. So they had a chance to get. They had to win their last two to get in, and instead of winning their last two to get in, they fucking tanked on purpose. They benched everyone. Luca played 13 minutes. Kyrie didn't play, which I know that wouldn't sound out of the ordinary for most people, but he didn't play because they were tanking. And Cuban's already paid a $600,000 fine for admitting to tanking a couple years ago.
that's right.
So
I forgot about that.
so they definitely decided it was better to protect their top 10 pick and not have to give it to the Knicks for Porzingis, who they don't even have on the team anymore, which is crazy.
That,
Which is
that's from,
crazy.
that's the trade that's from. Wow.
Yes, dude. Which is
That feels
crazy.
like 9 years ago.
Which I think they traded Porzingis for Dinwiddie, and then they traded Dinwiddie for Kyrie.
That's right.
So I don't know, Mark Cuban.
Bang up job.
Maybe you need to fire your GM, but
When you have one of the best players in the world, you wanna flail around like a moron for the
well,
rest
he
of
already said he was like, "I'm not tanking as long as we still got a chance." And they took him out after 13 minutes into the game. He only played 13 minutes. They took him out right in the second quarter, and the Mavs are missing the playoffs. So Schadenfreude in part two. This is very fitting for you, Kyrie. I hope you get paid whatever you want to get paid this summer, and I hope you go somewhere where they never make the playoffs again. So you can just be a complete asshole and make your money and never make it to the playoffs again because you're getting old. You already played out. Nobody wants to deal with you. I doubt Dallas is going to resign you because I'm pretty sure Luka hates you after like 26 games. It took 26 games for Luka to hate you. And yeah, good luck. Good luck.
Wait, what would be the funniest destination? Utah, right?
For Kyrie,
Yeah.
I would love to see, you know where I'd love to see him go? I'd love to see him go to
Knicks?
Miami.
Oh,
No,
Miami.
to Miami. Because
And
Jimmy Butler
fuck up
would
that.
fucking kick the shit out of him.
Yes,
And
he
someone would finally
Yes, he
just
would.
kick the shit out of him. I mean, Butler tried to fight his coach
Yeah.
a couple weeks ago, right?
He
So
would
he's
make,
definitely not. He
make-
is a psychopath, but
Yeah.
he's definitely wants to. He's winning at all costs.
Oh no, he's a
And
badass.
the first time, he's the guy like led the NBA in minutes over the
Mhm.
last like 8 years. Like the first game, Kyrie says, "I don't want to play because I have a hangnail." He's gonna eat a fucking knuckle sandwich from Jimmy Butler, and that team's
he'll
gonna implode.
make
So,
like those Draymond practice videos look tame, right?
oh, that's where I would love to see him go to Miami. Love it. Just Jimmy, just as long as Jimmy Butler stays there, just kick the living shit out of him. But you know what? Miami would never sign him because they're
No,
a
they're
well-run
too smart.
organization.
Yeah,
And they know that
Spoelstra wouldn't
he's a
have that.
piece of shit. Right. No.
No.
I mean,
I mean, Boston
I
would
think
be funny too if he went back.
yeah, I don't see that. Dude, he'll end up somewhere where they have some
Toronto.
cap space like
Yeah.
Sacramento. No, Sacramento's got
No.
Fox
The
kid, Aaron
Kings
Fox,
are
right?
back, baby. I love it.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess up that situation.
Who's a point guard away? Who's a point guard away? I don't know. That thinks they
Do
can rein him
they
in.
try to pair him with Dame up in Portland? I don't know.
I don't know who he's gonna. I mean, at the end of the day, he's gonna end up in LA on the mid-level exception to play with LeBron again, and they're still gonna miss the playoffs next year because that team is old as fuck and they can't stay healthy. So that's what's gonna happen. Calling it now. So I'll just go to a Lakers Brooklyn game, wear my Brooklyn shit, and boo Kyrie the whole time. He probably won't play. He's such a pussy.
Right.
So anyway, yeah. And you know who locked up the 6th seed in the East yesterday?
Your New Jersey Nets.
The New Jersey Brooklyn Nets. So they finally have been playing cohesively.
When I see that logo you're wearing, I have to say New Jersey. Sorry.
Yeah, well, this is the old. They busted this out like 2 years ago as their
Kenny Anderson, Drazen Petrovic era.
They I mean they lead the league in fucking jerseys, right? They just dropped another city jersey with like.
Was that one real? Like I couldn't tell if that one was a joke.
That was fucking real, and it was ugly
like
as
Space
fuck.
Jam.
Space Jam. I think it was like block letter graffiti. It was just I was like, this really?
Graphic design is my passion.
They cannot ever top the one with the Notorious B.I.G. one that they did, and then they did the one with Batiste or whatever. Though both of those have just they brought that one back this year because it was so good.
Yeah.
All the other ones are fucking trash, but they have the black and white and then the white, gray, and black at home or whatever on the road. So they have such a bland uniform for their normal uniforms that they can do all this other crazy shit. They're like the Oregon Ducks of the NBA.
Yeah, they are, and it's tough being a casual NBA fan these days. You put on a random like Friday game on ESPN, and you're looking, and you just like buy the uniforms. You're like, I have no idea what teams these are.
Right.
it's
Right.
it's a good time.
They
But
don't, and
it's cool.
been
I get it.
proven-
I'm not complaining either. I get it.
No, it's 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 not a game it's not marketed towards me and you anymore, Doug.
No.
It's marketed towards like 21-year-old kids.
However,
love the
I
fast-paced shit.
oh yeah. But I will make this a segue. Fucking Lou doesn't like this logo. And I noticed they're wearing those fucking Pilgrim's Pride uniforms again the other night, and I got annoyed. Like
They won though.
they did, but they're idiots for not breaking this out down the stretch.
I mean, dude, this
The
is
people
the
like it.
perfect logo. The people like it. They will sell a shit ton of it, and it looked good. It looked good. What the stupid, I don't know the NY across the chest and the whatever you said, the Pilgrim's Pride. I don't know what that means, but it's
because like the shoulders are white. So like if I don't know, when you see it and think about Pilgrim, you'll know what I mean. But like it's like
they're just they're the most boring uniform ever. It's like, hey, let's take the Islanders uniform, which is a mainstay, and that's
Classic.
the only reason that it's a classic mainstay, but it's a trash logo if you really think about it, and it's
blasphemy.
It is. Come on, Doug. I mean, it's fucking a hockey puck with the word New York Islanders on it and the Long Island.
The NY, I mean, yeah, it's not Hartford Whalers, but it's along the same thing.
It's okay. It's okay. But
I think it's trash. It's impossible for me to be partial on this though, because I've known it my whole life, right? Like,
right. Me too. I appreciate that it's got staying power. It's great. But then they've tried since there's these third jerseys over the last 15 years, 20 years, to make all these marketing inroads, and everything they've ever released is complete fucking trash.
Yeah.
It's complete trash. The one that they wore last game against Tampa, trash. That thing, I would never buy that. The people that I don't know why people do buy that. They had the orange one a couple years ago. What else?
Trash.
That was fucking trash.
They've had a couple of black ones, as you remember, the Brooklyn
trash
one, and there's one before that was awful. There was the one they had when Tavares was a rookie. I don't know if you remember it, but it was all like it was trash. Yeah,
and they finally come up with what the people want. They gave the people what they wanted. They only let them have 4 fucking games with this. And then Lou doesn't like it. Fucking come on, Lou. We can't have any facial hair. We can't have any fun uniforms. And we can't have any fucking top line wingers. Can we change all 3 of these things, please? For the love of God.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe they can have beards if they win the next 3 games, right?
So let's talk about that, Doug, because that's a good segue.
And by the way, I think the Penguins game just started. Like, this is a big day.
I'm not even, dude. Listen, the Penguins are going to win out because they're playing fucking Chicago, Columbus, and I think Washington, right?
Yeah.
Trash.
The only hope is the Caps, who are obviously tanking. So
right. So there's 3 teams that none of them, like literally the 2 worst teams in each conference, and the Caps, which I can't. It's this, whatever. I don't know if the schedule makers did that or if that's divine intervention or whatever.
It's the Penguins, and also we got to deal with the refs.
Right.
The league needs the Penguins in the playoffs.
Right. Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin, because they're
Florida or Islanders, right? For the last
right.
That's what you're calling.
I think so. But so I looked at the schedule because we all have 3 games left. No more games in hand. So we play.
Yeah, I have it here too.
We play Washington, right? We play Washington next.
Philly tonight.
Philly, then Washington, and then Montreal, correct?
Montreal, which is that's cake too.
Right.
In theory,
well, I mean,
I'm worried about Washington.
I think we've lost like 3 in a row to Montreal in the series that we played. So
yeah.
Washington's always tough, but if we're going to assume they're tanking for Pittsburgh, then we're going to assume they're going to tank for us, right?
Yep.
And then we got to beat Philly. We have to beat Philly tonight, right? That's who we're playing today.
As you said, they basically can't lose any of these 3 games and feel good.
Can't lose. No, because in Florida, have you looked at their schedule?
Yeah, it's they play Washington today, right? And then what are the other games? You have a tough one.
They have Carolina, but it's the last game of the season, so
Toronto, and they're.
Yeah. So, is there anything for the 11?
Carolina's playing for something.
Are they? Okay.
Jersey's only a point behind. And by the way, if you're making the playoffs, you want the 7th spot. You don't want the 8th. You don't want to deal with Boston. And
Right.
no disrespect, because Jersey is scary as hell, and it's just starting for them. And I'm super jealous, and that's all I'm going to give you, Josh. But Carolina and Jersey are separated by a point, and that's for the 2 seed in the conference. So
Well, that bodes well for us. So I
it
do.
does.
If I had to guess, unfortunately, it will. I think we will win out. I think we played our asses off against Tampa. I think we're gonna win out. I think these are all 3 winnable games, and I think it's crunch time. This team is grinded out before, so I think we're gonna show up. I think we're gonna ride Sorokin into the playoffs, and we're gonna have a couple of tough games. 2-1 wins and 3-2 wins. I think Pittsburgh's going to win out. I think that schedule is way too fucking easy, and they've been there way too many times. And I think Florida is going to have the wheels fall off, and that's
the bed.
how. Yeah, I think they're going to lose two of those 3, and we're going to get in because
I love it.
So maybe we only need to win 2, but I think we got to win 3 to feel good about our chances, 3. Right?
I know. I want that 7th seed.
I think we'll probably end up in the 7th seed if it goes the way I just said. We will get the 7th seed, right? If we win out and Pittsburgh wins out, we get the 7th seed. If Florida loses,
here's the thing, though, like none of this matters if Matty Barzal doesn't come back.
He's still not skating, so I don't see a world where he comes
he's skating
back.
on his own, but he's not practicing, and
right.
So who knows what that means? Maybe that's mid-series return at best. But that's the issue with this team. Even if they make the playoffs, they're just capable of forgetting how to score. They do it every other weekend, it seems like, where they just go to sleep. So
did it against Tampa and Carolina the last week.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then there was that Buffalo Columbus weekend. Remember that shit?
Oh yeah, where we said we got to win these 2 when we had 10 games to go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean we would be sitting pretty if that had gone better.
If we had just won one of those games.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. Thursday was encouraging, though. You're right.
But Tampa had nothing to play for. They were resting
really.
4 of their regulars.
We took out 2 of their dudes, by the way. That's payback for Romanov.
Yeah. So what's up with Romanov? He's out for the year.
It's upper body injury, whatever the hell that means. But he's not playing tonight, so it sounds bad.
Yeah.
So Sam Bulldog, I hope you're ready.
Yeah. Yep. Well, Aho's back now too, so
yes.
I guess it could have been
worse.
Right?
But I worry about that little guy in the playoffs, man. Like, imagine him against the Bruins.
Yikes.
Sorokin, though, we have a Sorokin, so
we do.
Anything's possible, right? But yeah, man, it'll be fun. This is basically the playoffs already. They can't lose. It's like single elimination. So have some fun with it tonight. If you're watching. Oh no, you're not going to be watching. You're going to be very drunk at a soccer game. I like it.
Very important things, Doug. Very important things.
Is Al into it too, or she just like needs a day out? And this is your.
I think day? She likes live sporting events, the whole pageantry of it, having some beers and stadium food and just cheering for a team together is fun for her. Yeah. Right. So she hates sports on TV. Like she doesn't like football. I mean, taking her to a game live and she was not. And she was again getting drunk and eating hot dogs, right? So
live baseball can be tough with all this stuff.
It's tough. It's tough, and there's no good sight lines. And like you said, she loves basketball live. She loves UFC live.
Oh,
and she's gotten into hockey now since she started dating me. So we go to the Islanders game every year
at the Ducks
versus the Ducks. She missed this year because the baby was not doing so good, but yeah, all good, man. All good. So I think you're right, man. We got to win all 3. Playoff hockey's already started, so we got a leg up on Florida with that because we're used to it. They just got in last year and then shit the bed because they didn't know how to play in the playoffs. And
they were the 1 seed last year, right? Florida.
They were, and then they had what's his name as their coach after they fired Quenneville, and then they didn't even give that guy the fucking job. That was crazy to me.
That was fucked up.
And then they traded a bunch of their fucking guys that got him there for Tkachuk, and like he seems like a good pickup, but
I love him as a player, but that hasn't worked.
No, dude, they're barely scraping by.
They miss Uyghur and what's his name, Huberdeau? Is that who they traded?
Hmm. Yep.
Anyway, that's hockey. Did you enjoy opening day yesterday? Did you watch opening day? Let's go
I
Mets.
did. I did. Let's go Mets. So it looks like we're better than the Marlins, which
Yeah,
is good.
fourth place,
Uh,
baby.
yeah, 9-3. McGill looked good. We actually are starting. The bats are starting to wake up.
I'm
Which
I'm I'm hitting my drink bell.
okay. There you go. Is that for you to get a refill?
I'm being told that I'm being rude at the moment.
uh,
I have to agree.
yes, but it was funny. The audience abides. So yeah, opening day
That's
was
like
great yesterday. What did you think?
yeah. Um, what's not to like? Tyler McGill looks like the ace right now. Um, I'm starting a thing called small sample size suck and small sample size hero. So he's Tyler McGill's my small sample size hero of the week. 1.6 ERA in 2 starts, 6 shutout innings yesterday, and he didn't really get into much trouble. I was working while it was on, but I didn't see anything. And game was never really in doubt, right? Um,
No. Well, I will
Lindor
say
and
the first 3 innings. I mean, the guy walked 7
yeah,
guys, and
and they
I
couldn't
didn't think
score.
we had the bases loaded, and we couldn't score at one point.
Yeah,
Right, our second inning, we had like second and third. I don't know. We had plenty of base. We were like
ton of
two for
base runners.
13, 2 for 13 with runners in scoring position through
Yeah,
like the first 4 innings, and then we finally squeezed a couple guys home, and it took Daniel Vogelback like legging out an infield hit and
which is
then making,
hilarious.
yeah, and then
Is
a
the
walk a
little
walk
league
after that.
defense.
Exactly.
You
So,
got
but then after that, it looked like they calmed down. We got a couple
yeah,
runs on the board, and then I think everyone's pressing right now. I think when we went to Milwaukee, I don't know what happened there.
that was
I
fun,
also
huh?
don't understand why we had a day game after a day game with a cross country flight. That was
Yeah, man,
terrible
they
scheduling.
needed that day on Thursday. It didn't even rain here,
Good.
uh, so they I think they pulled a fast one there. Some people might have gotten dicked over with taking time off work, but I don't think they care about that. Um,
Uh-uh.
but yeah, another game today, and it's just great to be back. So my small sample size suck of the week is Eduardo Escobar. He's like 2 for 20. Probably not much of a surprise. So
And then,
uh,
dude, I really want to just talk about the injury bug, man.
yeah,
It's
go for
it's
it.
hit us hard early. And part of me is like, okay, let's get it out of the way because every team's going to deal with injuries throughout the year.
Yeah,
But part of me is like, Jesus, are we just falling apart because we're an old team? Like, Diaz set it off, which we already had our rant on that. But Narvaez looks like he's out for 2 months.
which is
Uh,
disappointing because he looked really
good,
small sample size again, but he had a really good week, impressive week on both
right,
sides of the ball, and yeah, that sucks, but it's nice to be able to call up a Francisco Alvarez.
right. Yeah.
um, and yeah, man. And what is it? 8 pitchers on the DL or IL?
I mean, dude,
9.
we got Quintana, we got of the major league roster, we got Quintana and Hunter and Diaz, all on the IL, and then and Verlander all on the IL. So that's
Verlander,
four.
Coonrod,
Coonrod is he
Montez de
wasn't
Oca,
he's out for the year. Yeah.
and
Yep.
I'm forgetting somebody else. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's it's
Uh,
it's excessive.
Hernandez, right? Alicia Hernandez, he's on as well.
That's
They just
right.
put Jeff Brigham, the other guy the 2 guys we got from the Marlins. They're
Oh,
both on
hurt
the.
now too.
Well, dude, AAA. It's not. I mean, Beatty's
Thank you.
hurt. Brigham's hurt in AAA. So yeah, it's not.
I
We're
didn't
not
know
doing
Brigham
much
was hurt
better.
because
Yeah,
they
they
are.
put it. That's why we had to call up that Reyes kid, Dennis
Yeah, they're
Reyes, and
they're bringing in some random dudes for sure.
I
Santana
mean,
Reyes,
yeah, yeah,
Uceta.
yeah,
That's all
exactly.
right. They always do that though. I mean, there were random guys last year. Remember Adonis
Yeah,
Medina?
yeah, man. I think like I said, we're getting some of that shit out of the way early. I mean, if Verlander can come back in like 2 weeks and pick up where he left off last year, and Matt, everyone's kind of concerned about Max, but I'm not overly concerned with him. I think he's just getting ramped up for the year.
You think Heyman's full of shit and it's he's not getting gassed because of the pitch clock?
I don't know. I hate John Heyman. Like anybody that leaves respectable publications to go work for the New York Post is a troll. So get out of here
I love
with
it.
your with your tweeting. You and Joel Sherman and your fucking terrible old man podcast. Get out of here. So
I thought we were the terrible old man podcast.
I mean, we're still better than those two jerk offs. So yeah, Joel Sherman was the epitome of a Mets hater for so many years when he was at the Post, right? And I don't know, is he still at the Post? And all he would do is just shit on the Mets to the point where I finally emailed the guy through, however you contacted him back in the day. I'm like, why are you such a Mets hater? Like, don't cover the Mets if you're just gonna hate on them all the time. Like, how about some positive stories sprinkled in every once in a while?
On the Mets, just to be clear, we're talking about the Mets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
I mean, there's a world where you can just like report on the Mets, and it's just kind of like a lot of bad stuff.
He was like Manish Mehta though for the Jets. Like he just would take, the Mets would win 3 in a row, and he'd be like, "Well, fucking Art Howe's a dickhead," or whatever.
Art Howe kind of was.
You're not helping my point here.
But like I'm sure he like got after Terry Collins, right? Like everybody did.
I don't know. I stopped reading his shit when this was 15 years ago. I stopped reading his shit because it was just so negative. He was so negative, and yes, we deserved some of that bad publicity, but it was never anything good. Never anything good. So
I don't yeah, I don't get into those columnists like.
This was back in the day. I'm talking back in the day when I would go to work at 9 West. I would spend the first 30 minutes of my morning printing out every news publication's Mets article, and then I'd head to the bathroom for 30 minutes and read all those publications.
You hear that, kids?
Yes.
You hear what we had to do back in the day?
Yes. You couldn't just take your phone in and scroll.
Like the Bill Simmons mailbag I would print out.
Yep. Oh my God. Those were the days. Those were the days, Doug. Why are we wasting so much ink and paper?
Like motherfuckers would just leave their papers like in there too. So you would see like.
Yep. Sometimes I'd be like, cool. USA Today. Is this bad?
That doesn't look dirty.
Hopefully he wiped after he put this on the floor. Oh my God. The things we had to do back in the early 2000s, Doug. In the aughts. Back in the aughts.
Do you have an executive bathroom at your work?
No.
As a CEO?
No, we don't. We are on a floor that we share a bathroom with the empty office space on the other side of the floor.
Nice.
And this is a random story, but we were in the office a couple weeks ago, and the men's room, which is like a communal men's room, it's got like 3 urinals and 2 stalls and 2 sinks or 3 sinks or whatever. Someone, I guess, locked the bathroom door, and then someone had to like pry it open. So it's like crowbarred the bathroom. They must have locked it and lost the key, and they crowbarred open the bathroom door. And I'm like, someone must have had to really take a shit. This is who crowbars open a door to the bathroom? Who locks? Oh, dude. So we got a ton of guys on the injured list, and I'm trying to be positive about it and say, let's get it out of the way now, so that because we're only 8 games into the season, right? And
can we can make that deal?
Right. I don't know. Yeah. The glass half full, right? Or in your case, the glass totally empty. Where is that? Mimosa?
Oh, no. I'm back.
Okay. Glass half full. Perfect. We're back on the same page. So Verlander will be back. Quintana will be back around the All-Star break. Narvaez will be back around the All-Star break.
God, that sucks. Like,
yeah.
Wait, when I first heard it, it just sounded like, okay, it's going to be like a muscle pull or something. It's like 9 weeks, right?
Yeah, 2 months, they said. Awesome.
Hey, we get to see Alvarez. That's cool.
Yeah.
And I mean, the games are a little lower stake right now. So, he had a tough time. I don't know if you remember that last year, but like,
he also was terrible in spring training. Yes.
Yeah, he was. So we'll see. I know he hit a bomb in the Cuse a few days ago. But,
that's good.
Did you see Darren Ruff? And by the way, that's why he got brought up, because Darren Ruff was so bad. You see Darren Ruff went back to the Giants.
Yes, we traded all 5 prospects for three to pay $3 million for Darren Ruff and not actually have him play. Which I still think that I'm not going to shit on Epler.
No.
Like I know what he was trying to do. He's trying to fill that DH role because Davis wasn't hitting lefties and Dom wasn't hitting righties. And now that they're both gone,
JD goes nuts.
But dude, it was all about the
It wasn't
pressure.
going to happen here. Yeah.
They couldn't handle the pressure of New York. That was the problem. They got a full-time role and they couldn't handle it when we were actually in a
Yeah.
playoff chase.
I
When we
know.
were
I
a
mean, they
shitty
gave him a lot of rope.
when we were a shitty mediocre team, those guys were hitting because there was no pressure. Now that they're gone, okay, Dom, you're in fucking Washington on a cellar dweller and you're starting in first and DH. Guess what? You're hitting okay again, right? And
Yeah, I'm
Darren will
checking it.
probably
Yeah, he's all
JD's
right.
been crushing it. He's doing okay, right? And JD's probably doing okay in San Francisco, but neither of those teams is going to challenge for the playoffs most likely this year. So
Yeah, I
whatever. It
I
was a
was a
bad
believer,
trade. It was a bad
especially in
trade.
JD. JD and Dom both had injury issues. It's just too bad JD never put it together here. Yeah, no, you're right though, but it happens. Shit like that happens to sports. You can't go nuts. If that's the worst thing Epler does, cool.
Dude, I'm not. I mean, who did he trade? He traded Thomas Sapucki, who's gonna become a left-handed reliever probably at the major
He's
league
out for the
level.
year.
Okay, well then
Yeah,
there's
so
that. You get JD Davis, who wasn't performing here, and then three other guys. I couldn't tell you who they are, and maybe some of them are like gonna be good in like 3 or 4 years. Maybe not. I don't know. And if Ruff
one of
had
them
come
had a
in,
cool name. I remember Zwack.
yeah. If Ruff had come in and done what he's always done to lefties, it would have been a great trade. He just didn't. So
Oh, you know what?
so,
JD Davis is like just a platoon guy anyway.
right. He's
He's
probably
moving up
playing
eight
the
15
lefties as a
times.
DH. And that's the other thing about him is he was completely useless in the field.
Yeah,
He
he
couldn't play
was.
third, he couldn't play left, he couldn't play first. He was a straight up DH. And we already got one of those in Vogelbach, who I guess could play first if in a pinch if you needed him. But
Yeah, he can.
right,
It's funny they have Conforto and Wilmer too
yep,
out
they
there
are
in
the
center.
Mets West,
Yeah,
and I
it
don't think
looks
they're
like
supposed to be very
Conforto.
good.
Yeah, looks like Conforto's having a slow start. They're 3-4. Excuse me. You know whose birthday it is?
Who's that?
Jeff McNeil.
Oh,
You
happy
know what's happened?
31st.
You know what's happened his last two birthdays?
He's hit a home run.
That's right. Look out for that today.
I will say I was not happy watching him yesterday because he had a couple of tough luck outs, and he was back to like slamming his helmet and slamming his bat. And I've been seeing that a little bit more. And I think last year the fact that he kind of cut down on that shit
He did.
was why he was a little bit more, won the batting title. I think
Yeah.
he needs to just chill the fuck out and relax. It's
Yeah, he's
game
a high
eight.
strung
It's
dude.
game eight. It's
High
game
strung.
eight.
I think
Everyone,
yeah, you're right. Like they smoothed it over last year, especially with Lindor. And yeah, again, small sample size. If you want something to freak out about, though, sure, he's gotta rein it in. I'm more concerned about him like running into a wall or something if they put him in the outfield. So
yeah, I don't think they're going to put him in the outfield.
he's a maniac, man. He's just going to play his game. Maybe he's our Paul O'Neill, where that shit just happens, and it's still a damn good player that other teams hate. But I like that he's on our team.
Yeah, I'm
And
glad we didn't trade him for whatever a couple years ago. That would have been awful.
I know, and by the way, I just love that baseball's back. I love that Brandon Nimmo's back. Like I'm gonna say this every week. It's really good to have Brandon Nimmo. That's all.
He's
That's
gone
the
full hillbilly mullet, but
that's
it's working. He got on base all day yesterday.
I love it, and we need more of those mullets. The Brewers had some great curly mullets going, which is correct for them. They all should look like fucking sketch balls up there, fat.
Porn star, fucking Miller
They're also
Lite drinkers.
the fattest team in the Major League Baseball. They added up all the weights of all the rosters. And Milwaukee should be number one there. Like Rowdy Tellez leading the way.
Yep, awesome.
But yeah, they are what 3-18 in Milwaukee in the last like 3 or 4 years. I had a feeling it was that bad, and then when I saw it, I'm like, yep, that makes sense.
We swept them last year. We played them really tough last year.
Not on the road.
We played them really tough last year. Jesus Christ, sorry guys.
Bless you.
We played them really tough last year, but I think it's early, man. It's early. Like,
Oh yeah,
and with the
we're
balanced
just fucking
schedule.
around.
So are we just doing home and home with pretty much every team? Is that how it goes this year?
it's down. No, you still play your division like 13 or 14 times, so it's still like a decent amount. But it used to be
Got it.
like 18.
Right.
And then I think you're right. Then it's home and home with everybody else.
Well, I know we don't
The
play
other
the Angels at
5.
home, so I think
Oh,
there's a few teams we'd miss home and home with
okay.
because I'd be going to the Angels game if it was at home. So that was nice to do last year.
And
Not
next
this year.
year, that'll be your only opportunity to see Shohei Otani in Anaheim.
Exactly. So my father-in-law, this is a funny story. My father-in-law is an Angels fan. I think I maybe brought this up last week, and I keep telling
This
him
sounds familiar.
next year, how are you gonna feel when Otani's on the Mets? He's not going to the Mets. You're not gonna pay him. I'm like, we have more money than anybody else
Oh,
in the
that's not the
MLB.
problem. Yeah, they could pay him.
Right.
It's is he going to come to New York?
I think so. The only thing I saw the other day is like sometimes they want to be the only Japanese player on a team,
Yeah,
and we got
Ken
Senga.
Rosenthal article on the Athletic if anyone's
Yes,
interested,
yeah, I read that. Read
and
that same article.
it could be awkward apparently if with Kodai Senga here. They obviously know each other.
Yeah,
Um,
they were on the
well,
WBC team 4 years ago or two
4
years
years ago,
ago
yeah,
together.
Senga didn't
Yeah.
play this year, but he would have. By the way, Senga's going today. Ghost Fork Day.
Hmm.
Hell
Yep.
yeah!
I
I'm
think Senga is gonna put up some more zeros against the Marlins, and let's get another. We're not facing Alcantara, right? We miss him on this
I hope
trip.
not. I didn't even check, but yeah. Yeah, hopefully. Oh, it's probably Trevor Rogers. I think I
That's who
remember
it is
him.
today. Yep.
Who's a very good pitcher. So
He's a lefty.
we
We don't always fare
shall
well against lefties, so
see. Yeah, you gotta love Senga's first start though, right? Did you watch
yeah.
that?
I
And
had a
he
rough
looked like
first
he was in
inning.
big trouble in the first inning. You're right. Maybe the nerves got to him, but that Ghost Fork is as advertised, right? Nasty.
Nasty.
It just like it feels like it stops as it's coming to you, right? That's what batters say. Wicked,
Love it. I love it.
wicked kid. Um,
Wicked, wicked awesome.
wicked, awesome. What was I gonna say? I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
What else do you
I'm not feeling
got?
as bad about the Mets. I'm not feeling as and
Good.
end of the
We
season
needed
or all
that
this
win
shit.
yesterday.
We did need that win yesterday. It would have been nice to not lose that third game in Milwaukee and walk out of there with at least a one win. But you give up the fucking walk off. Bullpen. He's Bucks still figuring out his bullpen. We got a couple guys down, and those two fucking prior games, 10-0, 9-0 was the first time in the history of the team that's ever happened. And we burned our bullpen. That's awful, dude. What are you gonna do? So,
Shit
we got to
happens.
just regroup. Let's
Go.
fucking get our bats going, and
Ooh,
we're
okay.
not going to win games 1-0. We're going to win games 7-5. That's going to be
Yeah.
our mo, right?
No,
So
I don't see like an elite pitching staff here. I don't. I'm sorry. So yeah, you're right. The bats are gonna have to come through this year. But
yep.
speaking of the bullpen, thoughts on how and I think you already answered this because you said Buck was kind of still figuring out the bullpen. Thoughts on how he brought in Robertson for the eighth and then Ottavino for the ninth, as opposed to vice versa, and maybe it was all matchups. But do you think he's going to give both guys a chance to close out games?
I think he's going to play matchups all year. I think Robertson's going to be your majority closer, but I think if there's a tougher part of the lineup and he wants the better matchup, whatever, because I think they offer
Uh
Ottavino's
oh,
the fall off the table slider to righties. Are you frozen?
I'm losing my signal. I might. Can you hear me?
I mean, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Yeah, technical
No,
difficulties all day.
you went a little bit robot there for a second. I wasn't sure if it was my
Yeah,
side,
you're there right now. But yeah, I
okay.
think he's going to play the matchups, and if the slider works better against teams, he's going to bring in Ottavino, and if Robertson's, I think he's a splitter guy, right? He throws that split finger.
A
Yeah, that's
lot of
his out
pitches in the
pitch.
dirt.
Yeah, so I think he's going to be the guy that they'll bring in if that's a better matchup, and we'll go from there.
I hope Alvarez is ready for that shit. Don't have him play
I
like
don't think Alvarez is going to catch a lot. I think Nito's going to catch a lot, and Alvarez will be the backup, like one day off, and maybe get some DH work.
I
Because
agree. By the way, this is and by the way, Thomas Nito is probably one of the better backup catchers in the league. Just
which
knowing that position is not good, at least in
I
terms of bats.
I just want to say we ranked on Mr. Nito last year a lot
Yeah, a little bit.
for the fact that he wraps his bat around his head and he uses a 40-ounce bat. And if you've noticed, he did some off-season changes.
Notice.
I think he listened to the show because he's
He must have.
definitely using a lighter bat,
I've
smaller
been
bat.
sending him the links.
Yes, definitely. So, Tomas, you're welcome.
Yeah, he might have blocked me.
Yes.
They were sent at weird times, very weird. But no, I I don't know what I'm talking. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Having some more champagne.
Some Schlitzes
So,
is.
last Saturday, I forget what happened because you were drinking, but did you have family stuff?
Last Saturday, I had family in town as well. Yes, my fucking house has been like a
Yeah.
turnstile of people. This
So
is actually the last Saturday that we're letting people come for a while. It's like
okay.
no
Uh,
more, no
so
more.
like you got through the day though, because the reason I ask is I had a very long day on Saturday. I ended up trying
Uh,
to because there was so many games on that I ended up like and I made it. I drank through it. But oh boy, I did not feel good the next day.
yeah. So we ended up rolling to brunch with my cousin after and the baby, and it was funny because we went to this restaurant in Laguna Beach called Las Brisas, and it's this like famous Mexican spot with one of the best views. Food's okay, but you're paying for the view, and it's a big restaurant, and we go in with the baby, and like they stuck us in the corner, and every other family that brought a baby like got stuck in the same corner. So we were in this like corner with like six families with babies, like newborn
The
babies.
screaming section.
And I'm like, this is definitely like on purpose. They're definitely discriminating
Of
against
course it is.
families with babies. But I'm like,
Yeah.
but I'm here for it. I don't,
Oh yeah.
I'm not upset about it. So yeah, so we drank. I mean, I drank. Alex was driving because she was the designated driver. I drank. You know, it was bottomless mimosas. We might have ordered a bottle of wine as well and worked on that, and then came
Nice.
back home and uh, I don't know how many other more drinks we had once we got home. So yeah, I was
Oh
right
good.
there with you, buddy. I
So
was
yeah,
right
yeah,
there
you had
with
the
you.
same kind of night because that was I think Mets at 4, Islanders at 7, but also the two basketball games which were kind of great. Um,
Yep.
I
How
made it
about those
through.
Yukon Huskies,
How about those
bro?
UConn Huskies? Not a Huskies fan, but shout out. Yeah, good job, guys.
That was that was
That's all you're getting.
that was an unprecedented run. That was like,
It was.
that was
It
like
was a
a couple.
dominant run. Yeah,
I mean, they didn't lose. They won by double digits every game
every
throughout the whole time.
game.
And
Yep.
they were a 4 seed, and
Yeah.
they weren't dominant like that during the regular season.
No,
I didn't watch a lot of college basketball. We've talked about
no,
that,
but
but
they had a really shitty January.
yeah,
And that's what dragged him down. But
yeah. And I think they
otherwise,
had some injuries that they
Hurley.
dealt with that they got healthy at the right time.
I think you're right. I mean, again, you're right. I didn't follow much. Again, I miss the Big East so much,
So much, Doug.
so
I
much.
would
Like
I
I
would
would,
just start a Big East pod if we could.
yeah. I would be absolutely locked into college basketball if Syracuse is still in the Big East. It sucks. Oh well.
So we got, I don't know, I haven't been able to I just logged over and we got Josh Rosen and your brother
Do we have any
over here.
questions? I haven't checked.
They want to know, is there a make Doug drink button?
Yes, there should be. Um,
Uh and your brother just said there's no X in quotations cuses as to why Q sucked this year. I added that. I added that
fuck
part
you.
in for you.
I don't appreciate that. After I gave a little shout out to Austin FC. Come on, guys, work with me. By the way,
Work
yeah,
with me.
John, and Brian are down in Austin, obviously, or maybe not obviously. So I forgot what we were talking about, but
We were talking about Big
there
East.
should be a button though. Maybe it's
I
this.
I think there is a Big East. Yeah, there you go. There's the button. Drink. So, do we want to talk about NFL
No, Jenny, I'm
football?
sorry. That wasn't for you. Oh God, I'm in big trouble.
Do we want to talk about NFL football? Do we want to talk about the draft, or we're going
We
to
talk
save
about
that for our
whatever we
draft
want,
show?
man. Are
Save
you
that for
caught
the
up on
draft show.
Succession?
I don't watch Succession.
All
That's
right.
you. That's you.
Yeah.
I'm. What am I watching right now? I'm watching Obi-Wan Kenobi, which is also very old. I'm
I
also
tried to
trying to
start that.
finish Creed 3. I've gotten halfway through Creed 3. Have you
Well,
seen
I
that?
thought these were the best movies in a long time. You couldn't even get through them.
Well, it's not my choice. My father-in-law's here and he hadn't seen 2 yet. So I was like, all right, let's go back and
Gotta
fucking
go
watch
back.
2. So we
Yeah.
watched 2 last night
All
and
right, that's
then
fair.
yeah. So we started watching 3.
I still got to do
Uh
them, so I can't talk.
yeah, well. Well, what else you want to talk about, Dougie, on this Saturday morning?
I don't know, man. The sun's out, but once again, it's like 50 degrees. It's such a
Well,
tease.
I think you should get outside
Yeah,
and
no, we are. I think we
walk
are.
down to your local bar and watch the Mets play at
I think
one
that's a
o'clock.
brilliant idea. And then
Yeah.
we got Isles at 7:30.
Oh, dude,
And
this sounds like you're gonna have another all day drinkathon watching sports.
unfortunately, it all depends on Jenny. She's doing some work right now, but yeah, maybe we'll take a walk.
All
Um,
right.
but so what can we talk about?
I don't know. I think we're good. I think we just need to do
Any
some.
no, so those are the viewer questions. What was the other one?
Is there a make Doug drink button? That was it. So,
Oh,
and
and
they
the
were
other one
talking
was
about
what's the cutest thing? Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
I think
oh,
we should. There you go.
Master's thoughts: Brooks Kepka or John Rahm? Who you got?
I don't care.
Yeah.
I can't watch golf on TV. It's like watching paint dry. I can watch it in
And
person.
is Aaron Rodgers a Jet yet? Nope.
He's still not. Oh, Josh wants to know: are there thoughts on Aaron Rodgers not going to the Jets?
There you go.
No. Joe Douglas came out yesterday and said he'll be here to a group of fans, which hopefully doesn't get him fined. But the question was, when or what if Aaron Rodgers doesn't come? And he said he'll be here. So it's going to get done. It's going to get done at the draft. Green Bay's not going to want to wait until 2024 to get compensation for Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. That would be a cut off your nose to spite your face type of move.
Like what is
By
that situation? He's just sitting out getting paid, or would he play
well,
if Green Bay didn't trade him to the Jets this offseason?
I mean, I don't see how he goes back and plays for Green Bay. He might
Yeah.
show up. Green Bay really can't make any moves until they get rid of his contract because I think they're up against the cap. So if you look at their free agency, I don't think they've done anything, and
Right.
I guess that it's
They
fine
lost
because
they lost like Tanyan and
yeah, this is
like
this is
it
a
was hard.
this is a rebuilding year for them. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure, right? So I think it's going to be a 2 this year and a 2 next year. And if we win the Super Bowl, the 2 next year goes to a 1.
Oh,
And if he
yeah.
retires after this year, then I think that's what the holdup is that we want to pick back if he retires this year. We want a conditional pick back if he only plays 1 year, and Green Bay doesn't want to pay that. So I don't know. It's fucking stupid. I think Green Bay's pissed because he came out and he shat on the GM, on one of the most watched podcasts in the history of
Yeah.
podcasts,
He
right?
did.
And so he definitely didn't help the situation, but Aaron Rodgers does things the way Aaron Rodgers wants to do things. So
These diva-ass quarterbacks, right?
he was working out with Lazard yesterday. So
Oh, cool.
yeah,
I didn't know
I got no concerns. I don't care anymore about the watch. He already said where he wants to go. The teams have been working on it. Drink.
Yeah, the cat did that. So
oh, okay. Thanks, Tommy and Sadie. So, Dougie, what do we want to say here? What do we want to say? Viacom Diaz to who, what, where, when, why?
I don't know. I once again, I'm kind of scraping the barrel here. I'll give you one, but feel free to jump in with one too. But all I could come up with this week is Via con Dios, Richie James, who is heading to the Kansas City Chiefs, probably to take Kadarius Toney's job. Richie James, thank you so much for your service on the 2022 New York Giants. Yeah, dude, we're kind of out of Viacons lately.
You could have gone with Via con Dios Reese Hoskins for the year.
No, we did that 2 weeks ago.
We could have done Derek Hall, Via con Dios. He's out for the year now as well.
Who?
The guy that took over for Reese Hoskins. So the Phillies are also dealing with some injury bugs as well. Yeah.
I told them to get Darren Roof.
Well, rough. I still think he should have started the season with the Mets.
Jenny took the bell away.
It's probably a good thing. All right, Dougie. It's been a
All
great
right.
show. Guests, thank you for joining in.
Yes.
We'll
Thanks
see
for watching
you
all.
next week.